5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you for joining us on Evolve Your Brand podcast. I'm your guest. Wow, we're going to restart that again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much for joining us on the Evolve Your Brand podcast. If I got your attention now, let's go ahead and get rid of this. Today, we have the one and only Real Francisco Lopez. Welcome, Pancho.
Hey, everybody. Pleasure to be here, man.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yep. Excited.
Are you ready to have some fun?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a minute since I've been on a podcast.
Has it?
So I'm excited to be back on a couple of podcast episodes. So that's good.
Well, we're going to have a lot to talk about, aren't we?
I think so. Well, you said you were just going to wing it this time.
Oh, I'm freestyling.
Yeah,
I think you're one of those that I've been looking forward to interviewing you for a couple months, and I figured, you know what, yours definitely. We're just going to let it flow.
All right, I'm down.
We're going to do that. Goggins. Let's start with that. What the fuck, bro? Like, what in the fuck were you thinking? You do that.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. How did you come up with that content idea?
It was just kind of a last minute thing. My son showed me this video of David Goggins running around, and he started repeating, he's like, whatever he says, "You don't know me, son," or whatever. And I was like, that's pretty funny. It's pretty cool. And then just by pure coincidence, I showed up early to his soccer practice. So I was going to drop him off. And all of a sudden, another parent's like, "Bro, you're like 30." I was on the phone with him. He's like, "Bro, you're like 30 minutes early. The practice doesn't start until 6. And I was like, "Shit." Well, I was already there.
Right.
So I said, "You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to take advantage of this 30-minute window and record this video. Like, let's just remake what David Goggins did for that video of saying that he was just being a little bitch."
Right.
And I said, "You know what? It just relates so well to real estate right now because, frankly, we're so held back by fear."
Oh.
Right?
Oh.
We're so held back by fear. And it's a true story what I said there. When I bought my first place, it was a cockroach-infested 2-bedroom, 1-bath, little apartment down in West Chula Vista that it was in the worst shape you can imagine. I mean, this place was bad. My dad was telling me that I was stupid, and the only way that I could buy it was with 2 loans, a first and a second, which was very bad. People used to do that back then.
Was it 07 or wait?
No, this was 2002.
Oh, 2002. Okay.
2002.
Right.
This was a long time ago. And my first mortgage was 8.9%, and my second mortgage was 13.9%. So the reality of it is that it seems stupid because my dad had bought his house in 1991 at like 4%. In 91, there was also a crash, and they stimulated the economy by dropping the rates, and he was able to get a really low interest rate on his mortgage. So for him, he was like, "You're a freaking idiot. What's wrong with you? You can't buy this cockroach-infested, beat-up condo for $140,000 at 8.9%. His house had cost him $170,000. It was a different time, right? So when you understand that the market just kind of goes up and down, whatever. So I had to overcome the fear of what my dad was telling me because I knew that I wanted to get into this place really bad. Like, I just wanted to buy something before I got married.
Okay.
I was right about to get married, and I said, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. And the gamble paid off. That's the reality of it. We remodeled the place, cleaned out the cockroaches with geckos. We legit just bought 3 geckos, let them loose in the house, and they ate all the cockroaches in the cockroach nest. And that's how we were able to get rid of the geckos without using any pesticides or anything like that. It was freaking awesome.
That's the most creative way I've ever heard of getting rid of cockroaches, bro.
Well, a friend of mine told me about it at work. I used to sell cars back then, and a buddy of mine, a sales guy, he's like, "Bro," because I told him, I'm like, "Man, I'm like throwing bombs and doing this, and it's like the cockroaches are just getting worse.
Whoa.
What do I do?" Like, I was paying a mortgage on this place for 4 months, not being able to move into it because I couldn't get rid of the roaches. And he's the one that gave me the idea. He's like, "Bro, just freaking get some geckos and let them loose." I'm like, no shit.
Do you remember this guy's name?
Yeah, his name was Wade. In fact, I remember his phone number if you want to call him.
I just want to give Wade a shout out.
He had an out-of-state area code, so I'm not going to say the area code, but his number was 944 Wade. Nice guy.
He was
man.
definitely in sales, right?
Yeah. Oh, he was a sales guy.
Okay,
It was
got
funny.
it. Got it.
Super nice guy, the nicest guy ever, man. Anyways, he's the one that gave me the idea of the geckos, and it fucking worked.
Fuck.
It fucking worked. And anyways, overcame the fear, bought the place, remodeled it. I had a freaking water line break. Insurance company paid for the water line to be replaced, and I used that money to remodel the kitchen, like little by little, you know. Next thing you know, I have this beautiful condo that I ended up selling for $290,000.
Right.
You know, I doubled the money in 2 years. In 2 years, I doubled what I had paid for it, and that's when I was hooked. I was like, okay, like this shit works,
Got it.
you know, and the rest is history.
What was the most valuable lesson you learned from doubling your money in 2 years? Like, what was the biggest takeaway you had?
I was, for the record, I was 23
Okay.
when I sold it. I was 23 years old when I sold the place. And I took all of the money,
Okay.
$100 and some thousand after everything left in the bank. And I put it all into a tequila import business. I wanted to with my dad, partner up and bring in my own brand of tequila into the US from Jalisco. And we had the whole branding thing, and we were all set up, and we rented out a warehouse, and I bought a forklift, and, you know, 23 years old and very stupid. I lost the money in 6 months. So the biggest lesson is don't invest all of your money when you cash in like that into something that you have no clue about. Now, having said that, if I would have known what I know today, I would have probably done it and succeeded. But I wasn't resourceful enough at the time to make it happen.
What's the one skill you have now that you didn't have then that would have helped make the difference?
It's a saying that I repeat to myself every single day.
Okay.
It's never a lack of resources. It's only ever a lack of resourcefulness.
Mm.
When you truly want something, you'll figure out a way. You'll find the resources to make it happen. And at the time, I was like, it's impossible. This guy screwed me. And really, the partner that we were working with out of Guadalajara screwed everything up. But knowing what I know now, I would have gotten resourceful enough to find another partner and still make it happen. Because I already had the orders. I already had the sales to be able to make it happen. It was just the production that got all screwed up. And all I needed to do was just get resourceful enough to go out there and door knock every single freaking ranch if I needed to, and find another person to produce it at the cost that we needed to make it happen. And I could have found it, but I fucked up. I didn't know.
It's that shift in mind. It's like, no matter.
It's all that.
Right?
Yeah. It's 100% just a shift in mindset of saying, okay, I can make anything I want happen if I truly want it.
Okay. So we both have sons. You have 3 sons, right?
I have 3 boys, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 3 boys.
3 young men now.
I know.
I
know.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Look at the
freaking
smile on your face.
I freaking adore those freaking brats.
Bro.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah.
I see it. You're so engaged.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like, we'll talk about parenting in a second.
Yeah.
What are you teaching them? Like, from your experience, what's the one lesson? I mean, all 3 are different.
Yeah.
What are you trying to instill within them? Yeah.
So funny, I was actually just having this conversation with a buddy of mine this morning over Instagram. He has a little kid, and I was sharing with him how when I used to take him to school, I still do, but when they were younger, at a younger age, I would drop him off in school and I would play the song Hall of Fame and Renegades for them. And I would always tell them to think outside the box, to question everything, and to not believe that their teachers are the absolute authority on anything. And that if they get into problems for being themselves, that I was going to always have their back. And I really believe that helped them become their own person, because they're very individual human beings. They're very different from one another, but they are all very confident in their own way.
Right.
And they all question. My middle one, he got into so much trouble in his school because it was a Christian school, and he would question everything about the Bible, and he would drive the Bible teacher crazy. But it's him, and
Amazing.
I admire that, and I appreciate that, because by questioning things and by never putting up with the status quo, as they say, you are essentially able to become a pioneer. You're able to become something other than what's being taught, right? How are you ever gonna grow and create something new if you believe that everything that is, and that's it.
Yeah, there's, it's. I've learned to accept each one of the boys for their individuality. It's made a huge shift.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the best thing you can do because they're not us.
No.
Our kids are them. They're on their own journey. We're gonna figure out ways to fuck them up anyways. Like, no.
I'm sorry, Luke, Connor, and Trevor. I apologize.
Yeah, it's so true.
You just hit a spot.
I just
that hurt.
Yeah, well, it's so true, man.
It is, man.
I've sat with my boys multiple times and seen them face to face, and I've apologized to them for shit that I know that I fucked up in. I mean, one of the biggest things that I've learned to let go of is shame for doing things that never with intention and never it wasn't. And I'm going to clear it up. It's not like I beat him or did anything like that. No, it was just decisions that I made in my life that caused us to go through difficult financial times, for example.
Right.
That would put them in situations where maybe they didn't feel 100% safe in certain aspects, or that they didn't have what the other kids had, or whatever the case may be. But the reality of it, man, and for me, that was kind of a shameful thing, but I've learned to let that go because I also understand that there's value in that for them. They need to learn to go through those processes as well, because the world is kind of fucked up sometimes. And there are situations that will sometimes happen that will cause you to spiral maybe out of control for a little bit, and having that ability to learn how to adjust, pivot, and still thrive no matter what. And that's another thing that I always tell my boys. I'm like, remember, guys, we're not just survivors. We are thrivers. It doesn't matter what situation comes through our life. We're going to find a way to thrive through it. Yeah. That's what you got. Always remember.
Yeah. See, when you talk about the surviving mentality, and, I think I've noticed communities changing, like since COVID. There's a lot more pessimism. There's a lot more negativity. Like, what are you doing for like your family, for yourself to, you talked about positivity. You said it's at the core of what you value. Like, how come?
100%. I've always been naturally optimistic. It's kind of something that I have innate in me, and I do see the good in things regardless of. But when it comes to my kiddos and people around me, I have people that are very close to me that I really, really have a lot of love and admiration for, that would literally get very upset at me for that. Like they actually referred to me as a toxic positive person. And I was like, man, what are you talking about? Like, right. And I don't understand that. I still don't. I understand where it's coming from. I understand that it's just a very ingrained core belief that it can't all be good, when in reality, yes, it can all be good. Because even through the hardest challenges, there's lessons to be learned. And this is something that gets regurgitated a lot in social media and stuff like that, of people saying, oh, no, find the positive in everything. You really can.
You can.
You really can.
You can.
You 100% can. And I can tell you from experience, after going through some really, really tough times in the past couple of years, it's just such a beautiful moment when you're able to look back and say, holy fuck, that happened exactly the way it needed to happen to teach me this and to get me into this place in my life currently. So that's positivity to me. Just understanding that out of anything, there's something that you can take away from it. When it comes to my kids, I just make sure to give them a ton of love. Just give them time, give them presence, and whenever they're going through something, just let them know that they're loved, and that it doesn't matter what they're going to go through. It's going to be fine. Everything passes.
Yeah.
And literally everything passes.
Oh, it really does. You give them the space to grow.
Yeah, exactly. They have to go through their own process anyways. My oldest son went through some shit in the last couple of years, and he's been going through it just very recently. And I honor him so much because he's so brave. He's so courageous that he's facing it head on. He's in it, and he's in it to heal and grow and learn from it. And he'll do whatever it takes to do that.
How old is he?
He's 18. He's 18. But he will literally, he's fucking fearless. And I really admire that about him.
It's isn't it great when they blow your socks off?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
And
it's incredible. You're like,
yeah.
wow.
How old are your kids?
17, 15, and 13 this month.
Oh, so they're basically the exact same
Pretty
ages.
much.
Yeah, 19, 17, and 15, same
Incredible.
age difference. Yeah. And every stage of their life is just so unique and so different, right? I think it's a very cool thing when you have them so close in age like that you can see the differences and, like you said, their individuality and everything. But man, my kiddos blow my socks off every day.
So you
day.
took them all to Universal.
Yeah, we just went
How
to
was
Universal
that?
Studios with my mom. Well, that was beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah. It was my mom and my 3 boys, and we went to Universal Studios. We wanted to check out the Mario Land.
How
now.
was that, by the way?
It's shitty.
Okay. I like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
The Harry Potter.
No, the whole Universal Studios experience is fun. You know,
It is.
and really, I shouldn't say that. It's freaking cool. It's just small.
Oh,
you know,
gotcha.
the unfortunately in California, we don't have the available real estate to be able to grow like they did in like the same place in Orlando is much better,
Right.
or in Japan is much better, right? It's just bigger. They have more rides. They have more opportunity to build more stuff. Here, they're limited on physical space. So I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. You go through that portal and and whatever, and it's fun. And it's, especially if you're a big Mario fan, it's going to be really cool kind of to be in it, right? I was never big in video games, so yeah. It was never my thing.
I don't have time right now for that.
Yeah.
But what is funny is we don't need the cost of real estate any higher.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. And what do they say? They just it was a Mark Twain, I believe, buy real estate
Yeah.
because they're not making anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not making so we're so limited on space.
I know, and that's the interesting thing. Yeah, I'm not going to go down the real estate thing, but we'll get to that. It's the land, dude. Like, that's bottom line. What it is is like you can look at all the things that you want, but there's no place to build. Like, you're not building.
Yeah.
So that's just what we run into. What I was going to say is like seeing them. How's the dynamic with your boys? Like, how well do they get along?
Super good.
Yeah.
Yeah, super good. Yeah, they don't have. I mean, there's the normal shit talking. There's the very normal, like, you're a fucking idiot and you're stupid and this and that. But they love each other. Like, they'll argue 1 minute, and next thing you know, the middle one, who is just this genius of a child.
The middle one is?
The middle one.
What is it with the middle ones?
Is yours
Connor,
too?
my
Yeah,
middle
yeah.
one? He's too smart for his own good, bro.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah. Ever since he was a little kid, I would tell my wife at the time, I was to be like, you know what? Don't argue with him.
Yeah.
He was 5, 6 years old, and I'd be like, don't fight him. Pick your battles. You're going to lose. Like, he will
He's one of those,
He
huh?
will debate the heck out of you. Yeah. And, but then he'll sit with his younger brother, who he'll always freaking argue with and talk shit about or whatever. But he'll sit with him and literally just help him do his homework like this, right? Like, oh, you're missing this, or write it up like this, or yo, you spelled that wrong, or like just boom, boom, boom. That's one thing that's kind of interesting. I've never, ever sat at a table to help them do their homework. They've always done their own thing. I've always been like, look, this is your responsibility. And they kind of took it to heart and they just do it.
You know what stood out? Like, when we were talking
Very blessed.
at the last Evolve Your Brand, you were talking about the dynamic with you and your ex and like how you raised a family. Like, that blew my mind at how cohesion you had.
Oh, well, yeah, that's something that we're best friends.
I know that's
the
great.
reality of it.
Like, that's amazing that you have that.
We've always been best friends, and I think we will always be best friends. The kiddos are just this big thing that hold us together. And regardless of the kids, we just, when you know somebody since, I mean, I met her when she was 13.
Wow.
You know, so we started dating when I was 16, she was 14.
Got it.
When you're in a relationship like that at such a young age and for such a long period of time, you literally know them better than they know themselves sometimes. Like, she knows me inside and out. I know her inside and out. And it's like, it's very difficult to, at least for me, I could never be like, oh, like, it doesn't matter what happens, what has happened, what would happen. It's just, you can't hate that person. You know,
Right.
you like, at least for me, that's the case. And I know for her, it's the same way. There's still a lot of love there. And if you love somebody truly and you respect that other person, you just understand, same thing, that you're your own person, they're their own person, and shit happens and it is what it is. Just kind of roll with it.
That's a very evolved, thoughtful thought process.
I think so, but I think it just kind of comes natural for both of us. And that's the benefit. neither one, like, we'll fight. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's moments that we want to freaking kill each other, but at the same time, we always know that it's like, okay, whatever, it's gonna pass.
Life is short.
Yeah.
Life is short. I've been saying that a lot more recently. Life is short.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy the moment.
You have to truly enjoy the moment, and you gotta, and really, I think it's one of those things that you have to be careful with how you say it, because it doesn't necessarily have to be short. Life is enough. Life is enough for us to do what we need to. You just have to focus on living on the moment regardless.
How's life enough for you right now? Like, what do you have going on that, like, you came in here with a ball of energy? I love your enthusiasm. So what's going on in the real Francisco Lopez world right now?
As of right now, I think one thing that's beautiful is that I feel like I'm back.
Yeah?
Yeah. So there was through the separation, the splitting up of the family and all that stuff, it hit me like a ton of bricks.
Right.
I knew that it was something that kind of had to happen, right? For us to evolve, for us to continue our growth, for us to continue being our own person, for us to achieve the ultimate happiness, I guess, or goals in life, whatever the case may be. I don't know exactly what it even is. But I remember a couple of years ago, I went to a church, Catholic church over in Chula Vista, and they have this cross, and it's called the Garden of Gratitude. And I'm not very religious or anything, but I do believe in God and in Jesus, and I believe that I have this really strong connection with God, direct bond since I was a little kid. So I went up there one day, and I went to the Garden of Gratitude, which is something that I would normally do, and I would just go give thanks. But this day I sat there and I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm ready. I said, whatever needs to happen, bring it on. I'm ready to evolve to the next chapter and lay it on me. Fuck, man, I was not ready.
You weren't. You're like, fucking eyes to shut the fuck up, huh?
I should have never said that. I guess I was in a way, but
Right.
man, the separation was just brutal on me. It was something that really, really hurt. The first, going out to separate homes and this and that. And I'm a guy that likes his family. I like my kids. I like my dogs. I like even my wife and arguing with her or whatever, whatever the case may be, which wasn't, by the way, always it wasn't always bad, but at all. It was mostly.
Buddy, I've seen the videos. I know it wasn't all arguing. There's a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone that knows you knows you have fun.
Yeah, exactly. But being in my own place by myself, man, the fucking silence is deafening.
Mm-hmm.
Like it drove me crazy. And
that's awesome though.
Yeah, it's awesome once you learn from it, right? But in the moment, I understood for the first time what it felt to be depressed. I didn't understand that.
Really?
Yeah, like for me, it was always, if I heard somebody saying I'm depressed, I'm like, bullshit. No, you're fucking not. Like, get out of it. Like, do this, change this, go out, do this, journal, write your gratitudes, think about the good things. To me, it was easy to get out of that mode. And now all of a sudden I couldn't. Now all of a sudden I'm stuck in this mode of like feeling sorry for myself, just feeling sad, feeling lonely, feeling broken, feeling like a victim. And I was like, fuck, man.
And you've never experienced that before?
Never.
And it hit.
I was 41, 40 years old, the first time I experienced something like that. And it hit me hard. And I was like, shit, man, what is this? And I remember I would just grab my dog and I would hug him and I would cry hugging my dog. And it was so brutal because I felt sorry for the dog. Like, I was like, shit, I'm like transferring all of this crap onto this poor animal. And my dog was just taking it like a champ. He was just sitting there, man.
What's your dog's name?
Kronk, man.
Kronk.
He's a freaking lunatic.
Not Gronk.
Kronk. Kronk.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, it was just a really tough time for me. And you know what I noticed through that process is that my creativity went away. I would think, okay, today I'm going to go and record a podcast episode, or I'm going to make some funny videos or things that I love doing. Write up an email for my clients. whatever the case may be, man, I couldn't bring myself to do shit.
You lost
Like,
your passion?
I lost everything. Like I felt like I had no reason to do shit. Like,
Fuck.
and I didn't understand where it was coming from. I was like just very lost. So, you know, and here's the funny thing about it. I don't think I've ever met a better problem solver than myself. I am so good at solving problems, and which I'm changing the verbiage, by the way. Now I have to clarify, it's solution strategist,
Okay.
because there are no problems. Let's find a solution.
So you're changing the actual
Verbiage,
vocabulary
words, yeah.
for yourself.
Yeah.
You're reinventing the vocabulary for yourself.
Consistently being very careful of the words I use,
Beautiful.
because then they get embedded into the
100%.
psyche. So any words you use, anything you say, you have to be very careful of how you say it, and because whatever words you say, you're gonna embed into your psyche, and they're gonna become reality. So yeah, man, it was a tough time, and I couldn't figure this out. No matter how good I feel or believe I am to be as a problem solver, I could not figure this one out for the life of me. I was going freaking nuts. And reached out to a few people. You know, some people would tell me, "Oh, you know, just go hook up with some girls," or other people, "Go read a book," or "Let's go."
Yeah,
get
go make your
fucking
life
drunk."
more fucking complicated.
Go
Yeah.
go destroy it even further.
Go
Right?
go shit on yourself even more.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
things are
exactly.
really fucking bad. Make them fucking worse.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And
What did you do?
I ate a lot of donuts. I
There's
gained a lot of
Peterson
weight.
Donuts. Have you?
Yeah,
wanna... I'm kidding. You ate a lot of donuts.
Like, it was funny. There was it's a funny story. There was this one night that I couldn't sleep, and I'm not a big drinker or anything, but I can drink, right?
Okay.
So I said, you know what? Fuck it. Maybe I should just go get a drink, and which I'm glad I didn't. But I'll tell you what happened. I was like, maybe I should just go get a drink. Because it was like 1 in the morning or something like that, and I couldn't sleep. I said, "Fuck, I'm just gonna go somewhere, have a drink, sit down, and then I'll come back, and I'll probably be tired to sleep, right?" And I remembered that there was this little Irish pub down the street from where my house was at. So I drove over there, and the place was dead. It's just dark, and I was like, "Man, I don't feel like it. Like it didn't call to me."
Right.
But it's fucking horrible, because right next door there was a donut shop that was open 24 hours, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just get some donuts and watch a movie instead. So I go in there and I buy this freaking half a dozen donuts. I buy 6 fucking donuts, and I ate them all that same night. And these donuts were freaking so good.
Oh, they were?
And,
okay.
Yeah, they were so good. And they were so good that a few months later, the place was rated like the 6th best donut shop in the entire country.
Really?
So when I was telling my friends, I'm like, dude, you gotta understand, these donuts are fucking legit. They didn't. They're like, how good they can be.
I was gonna say, bro, like they're open 24 hours a day. How
so
good
good.
could they be?
They were so good. They were so
Wow,
good.
okay.
So I started just eating donuts, and that was kind of my coping mechanism, man. I fucking gained a bunch of weight. But really, that was just the stupid thing that I did. The smart thing that I did was that I reached out to a buddy of mine that I met through the real estate industry, that he had gone through something similar. His name is Danny Morell.
Oh, okay.
And
He's also your coach, right?
Yeah. So I reached out to him. He's like, bro, just join us on the group. You're going to meet some really cool people. We'll help you through this process. And through recommendations of him and stuff, I ended up participating in a mushroom ceremony, psychedelics. And you're talking to a guy right now that had never even smoked weed before.
Really?
Yeah, nothing. Like I was never into any sort of drugs or anything. Maybe I had taken a gummy here and there,
right?
Something like that, because they pulled him out, and I was like, okay, I'll try it. Did nothing for me. It was like fucking whatever. But then I said, screw it. And I was so scared, because the other thing is that I had never, until this day, I have never, ever drank enough alcohol to get myself to the point of throwing up.
Okay.
I'm the type of guy that was always in control of everything. When you do something like this, like a ceremony with like psychedelic, like ayahuasca or mushrooms, you lose all control, and you have to release control in order for it to work.
Yeah.
And that was fucking terrifying for me, bro. But that was part of the medicine. learning to let go of the control helped me tremendously.
What freedom did you achieve by that?
Well, all of it. Like,
Really?
yeah, because, and I was always very free in terms of, I don't care what people think, but it allowed me to learn to let go, to learn to let go of the shit that did bother me. Right. And don't think it's like a magic pill. No, by any means. You have to do a lot of work, and you have to do a lot of what's called integration, and you have to put yourself through the process. And it took over a year of working and working and working. But I can honestly say that if it hadn't been for that leap of faith and doing that and really going all in, I really feel like I went all in my healing, I'd still be stuck in it in a really bad way. And now I feel that that page has been turned months ago, and I truly feel like I'm back. My creativity's back. And that's, to me, that was kind of a sign, like, oh shit, now I'm coming up with ideas again.
Nice.
I'm coming up with all these things to say and post and write, and it's easy now. Like, every day I get a new idea, like just like I used to. Right?
Goggins.
Just like I used to. But yeah, Goggins. Like
fucking
everything.
impromptu. Who the fuck?
So that's the beautiful part about it. Like, the creativity came back.
Good for
Yeah,
you, man.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
do you know what I appreciate about your story? It's like, no matter where you are in life, you have all the power in the world.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
100%.
Like,
100%.
the more you're so vulnerable, and I've been on social media and put stuff on there, but I haven't really ever been vulnerable.
Mhm.
And it's such a hard thing to do because you expose yourself.
Yeah, 100%. And you expose yourself to shit talkers, right? And
Yeah.
things like that, which is fine. Like,
All good.
I was blocked last night by somebody. It was freaking hilarious.
Really?
Send me this long message saying how he will never send me.
Would
a
you
client.
mind sharing? Yeah. Would you mind sharing what happened?
So I posted a story with a T-shirt that I was wearing that says Stockholm Syndrome.
Okay.
And it's a face of a guy covered up, like his mouth covered up by a hand, but the hand is blue like the mask.
Okay.
And I said on the story, well, now they're talking about masks coming back.
Right.
I have to bring these shirts out again. And,
Okay.
just talk about
Right.
it. Because I've always been against the whole concept of it. And the thing about it is, like, if you love wearing a mask all day, every day of your life, go ahead.
Do it.
Do it. Feel free. I hate the concept and the idea of being forced into anything, right? And so I just posted that, and mostly as something funny, because the shirt is funny, I think. And he sent me this very long message saying, like, hey, you are putting people's health at risk, and this and that, the typical stuff.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I appreciate what you're saying. This is just what I believe in. And thankfully, we live in a time and a world in which I'm able to share. And he's like, yeah, but you probably don't, you're probably not vaccinated either, right? I'm like, no, I'm not. And I'm not going to. And I said, well, you're putting everybody's health at risk. I'm like, no, I'm not. And I said, how can I put somebody at risk if I'm not sick? Like, if I get sick, I won't leave my house and I won't interact with anybody.
Yeah. It's
Probably better than me wearing a mask if I am sick or whatever the case may be. And he's like, no, it's not about that. You can be asymptomatic. And of course, he gave me all these other things or whatever. And I said, you know what? I understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate it. I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
And then this is where it got kind of weird. He said, if you don't change your mind about this, you will never have me as a client, and I will never refer anybody to you, basically. And I said, okay, that's fine. Like, I'm not going to change my point of view over $1, over whatever the case may be. I'm fortunate enough that there's people that appreciate me for who I am and the quality of service. And I did say, you know what? It's unfortunate that you would rather go with somebody else that doesn't have my ability to negotiate and market because you don't agree with everything else. You're the one that's going to be missing out from the best service possible, right? And then, so it kind of just went on like that for a minute. And that was it. I said, and then he told me, he's like, you know what? It's all about the money for you. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm literally saying that I'm letting go.
Yeah.
I'm willing to let you, like, if you don't want to do business with me, I respect that. And I respect that you want to get 10 vaccines. And I respect that I'm not trying to change your mind. You're the one trying to change mine. And that's the thing that happens. And then I posted the Goggins video.
Yeah.
And he sent me a message on that. He's like, you're a freaking fat, obese, person, you should be putting that in check, because if you're not vaccinated, you're at high risk and you're going to die. I'm like, wow.
That's a lot of positivity.
That's a lot of, and I said, okay, man, I get it. I said, I still think masks don't work.
Yeah.
You know, he got so mad he blocked me. But, you know, like, it's just funny to me how I get it. I get where he's coming from, and I respect his decision or whatever to do whatever he wants. Again, I'm not trying to force anybody to do anything. But if somebody tells you, I'm not going to give you business, I'm going to freaking basically talk shit about you so that other people don't do business with you, and I'm going to insult you and call you names. And he kept saying, okay, bud. Yeah, you're a dumbass, bud. Yeah, like things like that. It has no argument. It has zero value to me, and it causes zero issue.
Yeah, you know what? I was sitting here listening to the story, and I was thinking, great job for you. Like, way to engage him and get his point of view. You weren't closed off. I thought you were very receptive, and that's the thing though with the mask. Like, I personally could care less. Whatever makes you happy, whatever you think keeps you safe and healthy, do it.
My whole family, my mom, my dad, my grandma, everybody, they all wear their masks. They all get vaccinated. I respect them. I love them. That's fine. Do their thing.
Absolutely.
I don't like it. I personally don't appreciate the forcefulness behind it.
Yeah.
You're going to lose your job if you don't. You're going to not be able to go to a funeral or sit next to your loved ones at a funeral. You have to maintain your distance. Like, all that thing was crazy to me. I never understood it.
Do you think it's a form of control?
100% it is.
Okay.
100%. It's
are you comfortable like going down that? Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
Because what I share with the boys, okay, we were talking about our sons. So I've had very real conversations with them recently because I think the world is giving them messages that I don't necessarily agree with as a parent, and I get to choose what I teach them.
100%.
So what I share with them is ask questions. When you're in school, ask your own questions. Don't ask the questions that people want you to ask, or asking your own questions.
Yep.
Take the time to learn the things that you want to learn. Be passionate about those things. And to me, free thought is one of the most valuable things we can teach our kids.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. So the control factor really does bother me because it's you want to get people stuck into system.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in that.
It's stuck in the system. It's stuck in somebody higher up, the government, telling you what to do, how to live your life. And it's just the little things that go on little by little, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about the importance of the words that we use and the things that we do and the modalities. The other day I was thinking about, I was raised a Catholic.
Okay.
And again, I'm a huge believer, and I have tremendous faith. And I truly believe like I have a beautiful connection with God. I was the one at 10, 11, 12 years old that would tell my parents, we got to go to church. We got to go to church. Like Sunday, we have to, like, And I would fast before going to church to take the sacrament and be all in, and knew every prayer. I was in it. And then recently I was really, as years went by and I grew up and everything, I was very disappointed by pastors and priests and just these false people that I would see them preach about this and that. And then next thing you know, they're screwing somebody over. They're literal thieves. Like, it was just bad. And it was just these moments that I was like, screw this. Like, why is he going to be guiding me if I'm genuinely loving, and I can see that that's not the case. Right. So it threw me off from the church. Right. But recently, a couple months ago, I was thinking a lot about that. And I realized, and I don't know if you ever been to Catholic church or anything like that, but
I actually went for the first time a few weeks ago. It was crazy.
Interesting. Well, there's a part of the what do they call it? Ceremony, I guess, in which they say in Spanish, it's por mi culpa, por mi culpa, por mi gran culpa. I don't know how you translate it directly at church in English, but it's like, it's my fault, it's my fault, it's my fault.
Okay.
So every single Sunday, you're going to a church surrounded by people, creating this tremendous energy in which you are physically pounding your heart
Right.
You're literally beating your heart and saying, I'm guilty, I'm guilty, I'm guilty.
How's that helping?
It's fucking horrible. Guilt is one of the worst energies that you can possibly live in.
Right.
And it's a way of control. Fear, guilt, shame. It's a way for I just read a book recently, but it's a way for you to be under control, not in control, under control of something else. Fear primarily. So this whole, hey, if you don't take the shot, you're going to die. It's fear. Hey, if you don't take this, it's all fear. It's all fear-based. And I'm going to tell you how I came to this like when the pandemic hit in 2020 and it was March and they started talking about it. Yeah, exactly. I remember so clearly in that moment, it took me right back to 2009.
Oh, wow.
2008 when swine flu hit. And they were all, swine flu this, swine flu that, and the pandemic. And my kids were little. I had a 1-year-old at the time. I had a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. And I was terrified of them getting sick. And I was so scared. And I remember watching the news, and a 29-year-old dude had to be induced into a coma because he got swine flu. And I was like, fuck, like this is horrible. And then I realized that it was all bullshit.
Right.
And now nobody talks about it. Now it's like this normal thing. But back then, nobody remembers that. But I remember very clearly because I was terrified through the swine flu pandemic. I was wiping everything I touched. I didn't want to fly in a plane because I was afraid of it with my kids. And when the 2020 hit, I was like, this is the same shit again.
Seriously.
This is the same stuff. And it really became very clear to me. And I said, I'm not going to go down this path again. I am not going to down the path of fear.
Pancho, they shut down the world.
They shut down the entire world. Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, there's some new Netflix, like, I don't know if you've seen the Jake Paul.
No.
Really interesting on Netflix. And I'm fascinated by people that go against the status quo.
Yeah.
So he's very against establishment. And
Jake Paul, the YouTuber?
Yes.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Okay.
But I completely changed and that's where assumptions are in reality. Mm-hmm. When I look at his mind, I have a lot of respect for the positivity he's trying to bring in the world. Like he's trying to get rights for fighters in big promotions. Like, you know, I'm not going to mention any names, but like he wants them to be unionized. And so they have like what the NFL players have. And I'm like, okay, that's a worthy cause. I had no idea this guy.
Yeah.
So he's
and they have
out
the
there.
platform to do it.
He has the platform to do it. Yeah. And what corporate America doesn't like is that he's speaking his truth.
Yeah.
And what's wrong with that?
You?
How dare you
speak
your truth?
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that, you know, when I look at your brand, and we'll kind of go down here.
Yeah.
Your brand, like I love how authentic it is, as authentic as you get in San Diego, because there's no topic, because it's fun.
Yeah.
Anyone that watches your brand and takes you for reality, like, dude, you're just expecting.
Yeah.
So you said you're in a phenomenal place. You can feel the energy. Like, where are you going with your brand? Where are you taking it? Like, what's that all about? What is the Francisco story going to look like in the next 3 years?
So that's the goal. 3 years, 3.5. I want to build my brokerage where I'm at. I want to help build it up to something very massive, very big, nationwide, maybe even international, and have the ability to kind of live off grid.
Okay.
So I've always been very good ever since when I was 5 years old. We moved to Argentina, and we lived in Argentina for a couple of years. My dad says that I'm always happy because for 3 years out of my life, I didn't wear any shoes and I was always in nature. And so I'm very connected with nature, and I kind of lost that along the way. Got caught up in the matrix and got caught up in wanting all the nice things and wanting to have the house and the this and the that and all that bullshit, right? And now as I've regained that connection with Mother Earth and with nature and everything, I want to be able to experience the world. I want to be able to experience the entire planet without any restrictions of anything. So my ultimate goal is to build a brand and build a machine through real estate have some rental properties, obviously, have the brokerage be in a position in which it's generating enough passive income that I can. And the beautiful part about this brokerage is called Pack Home Realty, is that it gives you every single tool to be able to do that, right? So that's my thing. I just want to grow the brand, grow the company to be able to have that freedom within the next 3.5 years. And the reason why it's 3.5 years is because I know that in 3.5 years, my youngest will be an adult and he'll be off to college, and he's already extremely independent. So that's why for me, it's okay. I will be in a position in which all of my boys will be adults, and what am I going to do with myself, right? Right now, a lot of my time is dedicated to them, and I know that a lot of time will still be dedicated to them because I adore being with them, but it will be in another way, So,
I love your passion for parenting.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
It's amazing, man.
You know what's funny? I didn't like kids.
Huh?
I didn't like kids. I was like,
okay,
yeah.
All right, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was like,
that shocks me.
Yeah,
the way you talk about your kids, like you understand the impact, and that's what I appreciate so much is the relationship and bond when you talk about it.
Yeah, it's
incredible.
Funny. But yeah, I didn't like kids. I was like, nah.
Or you love your kids and you don't like them.
Yeah, no.
What was it about kids?
I don't know. I just felt that they were fragile and they were dirty, and I just didn't. I didn't understand it. Right? I was just like, okay, eventually they're gonna grow up and I'll probably like them. But when they were little kids, I was like, and I didn't like playing with kids. My brother, for example, my older brother, who actually he's 10 years older than I am, and he had kids way after I did. So, but he was always very good with kids. Like he was always playful and he liked kids, and I was like, nah, like I'm not a fan. But then it was just a matter of my first son being born. Like my son came and doctor carried him and just put him in my arms, and I just held him like this, not even knowing how to hold a baby, right? I was like, boop. And bro, man, his eyes just locked in with mine. Like it was this crazy, it's indescribable what happened. Like, but it was, I can truly say that it's that at that very moment, I understood what love is. I was like, fuck.
Unconditional.
And unconditional, absolute, crazy love for something other than yourself. And I remember thinking, my life no longer belongs to me. Yeah. My life now belongs to this little dude.
Yeah.
And that was it, man. After that, I was like all in. I was like, this is my kids, and I just got to protect them. And I was a stupid dad. Like I was a bad dad in the beginning in terms of, don't even touch him, like clean him and this and that. By the time a third one was born, like put him in the mud,
bro.
Yeah,
it's a different level of fear. You're like, no, you're fine. Put your finger in the plug. It's okay.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
Good. You're good.
That way he'll learn.
You got to learn the hard way. The other two learn the easy way. You got to learn the hard way.
Yeah. So,
what do you appreciate about having boys? I mean, that like having 3 boys. They're so different.
Yeah.
They're so different. I'm like, man, their individuality. Now I appreciate it.
Yep.
I have such gratitude. Like, what is it that you appreciate about their individuality that just blows your mind? Because you're seeing, like, my oldest is driving. When your oldest is driving you, that's freaking weird.
Yeah. Yeah. My youngest is going to be licensed in 6 months. My youngest.
Seriously.
Like, it's like so wild. Yeah.
And it flies by so quick.
By so quick. Yeah.
When it comes to like what their future holds and like what are they into? Are they going down the Pancho path? Are they
No, they're very much their own person. My oldest is very good at math and like numbers and stuff like that. So he's thinking about going into business and accounting.
Okay.
Maybe some marketing. He's great on social media as well. So
there you go.
Yeah, he's still dabbling.
He's following pops, huh?
Yeah. Well, he beat me to the punch. He became like viral on TikTok years and years ago.
Really?
And he has a bunch of followers, and he was getting like followers from all over the world. He blew up. He blew up for a minute. Then he kind of fell off. He didn't want to do it anymore because he was so young, and he was very upset because his content was very unique and he was creating his own thing. And then other bigger creators were stealing his ideas and not giving him credit. And he would get so mad. He would get so, I'm like, just who cares? Call him out on the comments and do another one, you know? Like, it's fine. But he just didn't have that personality of battling it out. He's like, no, fuck it. I'm not going to do it anymore. Screw them. They don't get to enjoy my shit now. Yeah.
I'm going to punish the world.
Yeah. Seriously.
No one gets to see this.
Seriously.
We're done.
Yeah. Now he's kind of coming back on it. But it helped him, like, even in college. He got the job. He's the social media guy for a college.
Oh, shit.
They hired him to create their content on TikTok because he's very creative and he has a huge following.
Does he help you with the ideas?
No.
Really? What's that? Okay, what's his name?
His name is Francisco.
Francisco Jr. Come on, bro.
Come on, dude.
Like, you got to help Pops. He's throwing out Goggins. He's taking off his shirt. Okay. If you haven't, we got to go through your funny shit. We have to. Let's go.
Yeah.
Your favorite video that you've ever recorded. Which one would it be?
I think my personal favorite one would be I really like my Oreo video. I have a video in which I'm singing the Shaggy song Say It Wasn't Me.
Okay.
And it says, but you caught me on the shower, wasn't me. And I'm in the shower eating Oreos.
I've seen that one.
Eating Oreos. And like it was this video about me being addicted to Oreos. I really like that one. And then I did another one right in that same time.
The shower was on as you were eating. You had a box of Oreos, right?
Yeah, and the shower was on. And I'm shirtless.
Bro,
of course.
what the fuck were you thinking? Like, what gave you the idea to go in the shower? And that's how addicted you were? That's freaking hilarious.
That was my Oreo addiction. That was something that actually was a big deal for me. Like, I haven't eaten an Oreo in forever.
No.
Yeah, it was like alcohol. It was like
that bad,
yeah,
huh?
I had to freaking eat Oreos every night.
Oh, do you know what the funny thing was? Me and Hernan were talking about this. This is a shout out to Business Bros.
Yeah.
We were going to buy you like a fucking 60 boxes of Oreos after that and just surprise you at the restaurant. Hernan, we never did that shit. But now that you quit.
I would have eaten it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That is freaking...
I was addicted to Oreos.
Okay.
So that was one of my favorite videos.
That is great. What about the TikTok one? I didn't realize they had hit that
41 million. Yeah. The Christmas 41 million views, bro. 41 million. Shout out to Martha for that one. She it was funny. It came out of nowhere. I walked into the bathroom to change, and it was a true story. Like we were invited to a what do you call it? We were invited to. That was so funny. We were invited to an ugly sweater party, and me being me, everybody that knows me knows this very well about me, that I forget things. I forget to go. I forget schedules. I forget appointments. I need a lot of help with that. And so I had completely forgotten about the ugly sweater. I did not have an ugly sweater to wear. So I said, screw it. I'm just going to shave. And I had already done, during the pandemic in 2020, I did a video that was like, or a picture. It was just a picture, actually. It was day 2,400 and something of the lockdown, right? I just exaggerated it a little bit. And I shaved a hair chest bra. Like I just shaved my chest in the shape of a bra.
It was hot.
Right? And I had a little bra there or whatever from chest hairs. And I just thought, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to shave a Christmas tree onto my chest. And when I go, and I had my shirt off, of course, as everybody enjoys me with my shirt off. I walk into the bathroom and I'm setting up the phone. And when I set it, I realized that my wife was in the background in a thong, right?
Yes.
Just standing there. And she looked very good. And I said, you know what? And I did ask her for permission. I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just freaking record this like this? Because you look good and I think it's going to be super funny.
41 million people agree.
41 million people. Bro, I had friends they would take screenshots and send them to me and be like, bro, like, I'm jealous. I'm like, oh my God.
I don't want to know the trash talking that happened.
I got messages from people all over the country that know me that have moved or whatever. A buddy of mine was working at a car dealership in Florida, and he sends me a text message like, bro, I was selling a car and these people like came over to me. He's like, dude, did you see this video? And they showed it to me. I'm like, shit, that's my friend. Like
that is freaking
it was all over the
hilarious.
place. I was at a restaurant with another buddy of mine. And I'm just having breakfast there, just chit chatting. And all of a sudden, a guy comes over. He's like, "Hey, are you the Christmas tree guy?"
No.
Like, yeah, I swear to God,
You became a fucking celebrity.
Yeah. Like it was crazy. It was the messages that I got, and then it was shared in China. Like there was this guy in China that shared it on Instagram, and it also got like a few million views over there on his channel. And I was getting a bunch of messages from a bunch of Chinese people, got a bunch of Chinese followers.
Okay, well, this Christmas, we're bringing that out, dude. I think we
I
do
was
it.
thinking about it.
I like the ornaments. That was fucking priceless.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is he? Oh, shit.
Yeah, I put ornaments on there. They would fall off though.
Okay.
But you know what? I wanted to recreate that, and it's been very difficult for real estate marketing. So my idea was because honestly, it creates a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Sex sells, right? And
Not in real estate.
Yeah. So what I was thinking is find somebody that would be willing to help me. Shout out to any ladies out there that'd be willing to be open to something like this, and that they would stand in a nice small bikini in the background, facing away from the camera, either in the backyard or maybe the front yard, picking an apple from a tree or something.
Is there going to be a panel interview for the selection process?
I mean, maybe we could do that, put that something together. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think we could do that. You want to participate?
I reluctantly volunteer.
Got it. Okay.
Reluctantly. I will be one of the judges.
Okay. I'll let you know when that gets put together.
Thank you.
And then me just show up in front of her and cover the same way as the video, but just start the video with that angle, right? And then just cover it up and be like, hey, this is for sale. It has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Where is this commercial?
Yeah.
And how can I be involved?
I've been trying to put it together.
I want to be the cameraman.
I
want to be the
I
cameraman.
need the right listing.
Okay.
And I need somebody to help me.
I volunteer
For the cameraman?
No. I volunteer to make this happen.
Yeah, let's do it.
If there's a will,
there's a way.
that we will find the way.
That's right.
What did you call it? You are now. It's not a solution.
Resourceful.
You call it
never
a
a lack
solution
of-
strategy.
Yeah, solution strategist.
Solution strategist.
Solution strategist.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. We've gone down so many different.
Yeah, we kind of zigzagged all over the place.
We did.
Yeah,
And that's the beauty of zigzagging.
Yeah.
That is actually your branding, and you don't know what to expect. It's going to go, oh.
That's right. I'll post something very random, stupid, dark, and it obviously hits and people like it, right?
Yeah.
And it gets a ton of engagement. And then I want to post the stuff that I really, truly feel strong in my heart.
Okay.
And it gets very little engagement. So
Okay.
I wish it could be the other way around sometimes. Like, for example, today I posted something just saying, hey, do me a favor. Go out today and do something nice for somebody without expecting anything in return.
Let's go.
The secret to living is giving, right?
Okay.
Like, just give. It feels so fucking good.
I know your solution.
What's
I
that?
know the solution to this.
What's that?
I've been thinking about this. It's
Okay.
fucking funny that you bring this up. We have to highlight people that are genuinely sincere and authentic about who they are. Like, I have become a champion of, I don't care whether you're a lender, realtor, whether I work with you or not. If you're putting positive stuff out there, I will become your biggest advocate.
Cool.
How much of that do we see?
Yeah, it's not much. No, it's usually just the talking points that everybody puts out and the typical man. Okay, if anybody is, and I'm going to speak to real estate agents primarily because it's what I know. If you are in real estate, stop regurgitating the same shit over and over and over. Everybody knows it. Like, you don't have to repeat the same thing over and over. Put content out there, but be original, be creative, speak your mind, speak about yourself, about who you are, what people can expect from you, be authentic. Because man, nothing drives me more bonkers than seeing the same post with the same like conversation. Like the example, like when there's a new program out, everybody jumps on the bandwagon like this, like, It's
yeah,
like,
but that's the sell though. See, I don't, that's the sell.
but the sale is going to come from, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
create it in a way that you have an audience And then you're consistently, if you look at all my posts at the bottom, I'm always asking, who do you know that wants to buy or sell out? There's a call to action in everything, but the content behind it doesn't necessarily have to be the same thing.
Yeah. See, what I appreciate about your brand, this is what stands out about your brand. Your brand is real. Because you're not about, it's like, dude, I'm not for everyone. I'm not for everyone.
No.
You don't like what I'm putting.
Aware of that.
Yeah, and it's all good. But see, that's real though. I much rather like trust is. It's so funny. Do you know all the sales coaches are all like trust. Everything is trust. Well, why did we get away from it in the first place?
Yeah.
When did sales become manipulation versus relationship?
Agreed. And that's something that you have to be very cautious about if you're a salesperson. By being inauthentic, you're being manipulative.
Yep.
That's the way I see it. But in reality, a good professional salesperson is going to understand the wants and needs of the consumer, be so knowledgeable about the product that they're selling that they're going to be able to present in a very enthusiastic way every feature and benefit about that product or service that perfectly aligns to their wants and needs, so that then there it is no negotiating on price. That's a true professional salesperson. Somebody that can just understand, present, and close without a need to freaking fight.
Yeah, well, that's taking the time to really connect with people. That's
Connect
it.
and understand. Yeah.
And that's the beauty of what you do, because if you look at your content, it's all geared towards connection.
Yeah, 100%. Like I learned this. There's a really good book. You actually brought up, ClickFunnels.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah, Russell Brunson.
Russell Brunson. He has a book. I highly recommend anybody that's in sales should read this book. It's called The .com Secrets. And I read that book years ago, and I was like, fuck, he's so right. This makes so much sense to me. Because at the time, I was, I came from old school sales. My dad was in sales forever. My grandfather was in sales forever. And my dad would always tell me, he's like, okay, when you're in sales, you don't ever talk about politics, religion, like, right? And so you always avoid it because you want to not.
Right.
Those are topics, or sports.
Right.
Right. You don't want to get into a position in which you are alienating certain people to have them be like, oh, I'm not going to work with them because they don't align with me in certain things. So I was always like that. I was like, well, better not talk about it because it's best not to, right? Because you don't want to alienate anybody.
I'm told not to do that.
I'm told not to do that by my dad, who's a very smart individual.
Right.
But then I read this book, and the book, it says, be polarizing. I'm like, be authentic and be polarizing. And you want to be polarizing because what happens is when you don't talk about the big issues and the big things, you're just vanilla. And everybody eats vanilla, but nobody's really passionate about vanilla. Right.
Nobody's getting fucking excited about vanilla.
Oh, exactly. Nobody's super excited about vanilla. Maybe a few freaks out there. But
I'm sorry, that's the wrong podcast.
Yeah.
Tune in to After Hours podcast. This is the wrong podcast.
But the whole vanilla ice cream, right? Like, you always put something else into the vanilla ice cream to make it better.
Yeah.
You always have to. It's just vanilla by itself. It's like, whatever. And that's what a salesperson that is inauthentic is. Just doing the thing, posting the sold house on the Instagram and talking about all the same stuff.
Do you want to see another bathroom or kitchen video?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want that?
Another walkthrough video of another house, hey, this is the price, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's very just plain whatever, right? Versus being you and being polarizing. What happens is, yes, you're going to alienate a few people. I've alienated a few people. I've been blocked. I've been attacked. I've been shit talked about. Whatever. I don't care.
Bro, I talk shit behind your back all the time. Why
I know,
not?
and it's okay. It's totally good.
Yeah, you love it.
Yeah, it's fine. And it creates actually more engagement, right? You'd be surprised.
Bring on the haters.
Sometimes I'll go on my Instagram stories and look at the viewers.
Okay.
And there's so many realtors that don't follow me. Many that are like just watching over and over, and then I'll go to their account and I see that they don't even follow me,
Yeah.
but they have it in their mind to go in there and
Oh, isn't that great?
like it's fucking hilarious. But they're creating my algorithm a little bit stronger because people go in there and look, and
Yeah.
they click on my profile and they go in there and they search around. But the funny thing about it is that, the thing that I was saying about being polarizing is that, yeah, you're going to alienate a few people, but then those that you don't, man, they love you.
They love you.
They become raving fans.
And they love you for real, you.
For real. You have, going back to the story of that guy that blocked me, that he was like, oh, I'm going to work with a realtor that actually that doesn't talk like you do and doesn't spread misinformation. If he only knew the amount of real estate agents that are out there walking into homes with masks on that message me saying, bro, I wish I had the balls to say what you say. Bro, I would never say that on social media. Bro, oh my God, I agree with you, but I would never post that. So many, all the freaking time, all the time. He's gonna end up working with somebody that doesn't align with his views, but he doesn't even know, right? Which is fine, whatever. Or he might end up working with somebody that's completely the opposite, and it's a gun ho, 10 booster shot, whatever, which is fine.
That's great too.
But that's the thing. Then he's gonna be a raving fan of that person. The same way I have gotten calls and messages, or when I do my client appreciation parties and I have my clients come over to me and be like, bro, you have no idea how much I admire you for saying what you say and doing what you do and speaking and da-da-da-da, because more people need to talk about it. More people need to, and they become raving fans. And then when you go out, and the beautiful thing that happened when I shifted all of that, when I said, fuck it, I'm going to be me 100%. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. I'm going to share what I believe in. I'm going to do. The best part about it all was that the people that I started working with, every transaction flowed smooth. I wasn't forcing anything. There wasn't any need. In fact, most of my clients are like, I'll call them up and like, hey, we got an offer for your house. It's this and this and this. I got this other one. He's like, bro, do whatever you want to do. Send me the DocuSign. I'm like, no, let me share with you what I have.
Trust.
No.
Trust.
Send me. I trust you. I hired you because I know that you're gonna have my back. Do whatever. I kid you not. That's the majority of my clients are like that.
How does that make you feel?
Fucking pressured, because I don't want to freaking mess up.
Right? No. I understand. I get the pressure part.
Yeah. Because
most
I
people
would rather
don't grasp their liability. But what I'm saying is, as the contribution that you're giving your community, the people, how does that make you feel?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it, and it makes me feel like I'm doing things right. And again, it makes my job a lot easier. I don't have to work as hard. I don't have to freaking be on the phone all day trying to find customers that don't like me or don't know me. The people that know me, like me, trust me, will refer everybody that they can to me. They will fight to get me an opportunity. And I love, like, that blows my mind. Sometimes I appreciate it so much when my clients call me. It's like, hey, bro, I gave this person this number. This is their number. Call them up. I already told them this and this and this. They're working with somebody else, but I already told them that you're the best for this and this and this and this. And they help me. They actually push to help me.
They're the advocates.
They're the advocates, yeah.
They are.
And they wouldn't be that way if you were vanilla.
Yeah. Well, it's the sincerity. I was going to say, like, you've inspired me to come and be more polarizing with my message, because I'm like, fuck, I'm vanilla with some of this stuff. No, I'm being real. Like, you gotta, Francisco, what I've learned about brand and what you stand for, you gotta dig in first before you can ever try to convey your value. Because if you don't know what your value is, how are you gonna intelligently speak to it?
That's right.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So we're gonna.
And don't get me wrong, the other thing that's very important is to have the ability to still do business with people that don't see eye to eye with you.
Yep.
I mean, I had a client hire me to sell their home. They were going through a divorce, and it was hilarious because the wife would argue with me on Facebook consistently, all the time, telling me, you're wrong on this, you're wrong on that, you're wrong on that. So when I got the phone call from her saying, hey, we want to sell our house and we want you to help us, I was like, okay. And I went over there and I had to ask her. I was like, hey, like, okay, like, I appreciate you thinking of me. Obviously, I knew them from the car business. I sold them a car. I had never even sold a house to them. They were on Facebook from back in the day when I sold them a car. And she said, You know what? She said, I really appreciate that when you share your opposing views with mine, you're always respectful. You never fight. You never insult anybody. And at the same time, I know that you are the best there is for getting my home sold for top dollar. So why would I punish myself just because I don't see eye to eye with you on these other things? Whether we see eye to eye has nothing to do with your ability to sell my house. I was like, man, what a smart woman. And then I looked at the ex-husband that she was sitting there like, you're letting go of this? She's actually smart, bro. Like,
nice.
Way
to really pile it on.
He started laughing. He started cracking up. We had a pretty good relationship at that moment.
That is a phenomenal story. So one of the newest things I've done on the podcast is thank some people. Like, who are people that stand out for Pancho? Like, you appreciate them. They bring you value. You want to give them a shout out?
So many people, bro.
I know.
So many.
Couple that stand out.
So definitely, I would say one of them would be my ex-wife, Martha. Definitely somebody that I'm very grateful for the amount of time that we've put in together into this life and everything, and her ability to teach me so much, even through some shit, you know what I mean? So I'm very grateful for the growth that has happened through this entire journey because of her and her ability to still be loving and a friend, right? Because I know that if it wouldn't be only up to me,
right?
Like, I could be all day long trying to have a good relationship with somebody that we're not in a relationship with anymore, and that could still fucking backfire horribly. So I'm grateful for that. Extremely grateful for my father. My dad is legit probably the best father ever. Like, he's a freaking savage, and he is the definition of tough love. And he's very set in his ways, but yet again, he's always had that just very, very masculine power. And my mother, of course. My mother, man, you can't. So, we were talking about the mushroom ceremony.
Yeah.
And I've done ayahuasca and some other mushroom ceremonies, and I'm actually training myself. And I actually just passed the last week of it. Should be certified 100% and ready to go to host my own ceremonies.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. It's actually something that I've been very called to. My heart has taken me there so many times, and it's something that is such a beautiful way to give back and help others the way I was helped. And it's just such a loving, respectful thing to do. But through those ceremonies and through those journeys in which you lose all control and you're feeling like you're dying and your ego is dying and you're being beat up and you're crying and you're throwing up and you're screaming and you're physically hurting, and it's like probably the worst of the worst, right? The most fear I've ever felt in my life was through one of those ceremonies. The one thing that always brought me back and the one thing that always held me strong was my mother's love. Like, literally, in the darkest of darknesses, where I felt like I was dead, I turned over like this, and all of a sudden my mother was sitting on a couch carrying me as a baby and just pouring love. And my father was right behind her, giving me strength and protection. And that's just like the most beautiful gift a human being can have.
Seriously.
So it's become very clear to me. And when I do my own ceremonies and when I hold space for others as they do this kind of work, my mission and the intention that I set as I walk into the room and as I get prepared and get ready for it is to be able to offer everybody around me the gift of my mother's love and my father's strength. So if I can give people my father's strength and protection and my mother's love, I'm a complete human being because I'm giving back the gift that I was given.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it was. That's the way it is.
What a like. Nathan Leathers, we had him as a guest. He talked about the infinite game. What an infinite game that is, bro.
I love the infinite game.
Like, seriously.
My infinite game has become clear to me. Yeah.
it was so clear when you walked in. Like I actually have chills right now.
Yeah, my
So-
infinite game is clear. I'm surprised you talked about that. That's, if anybody is out there, they need to read that book. It's what a message, to be able to build something beyond yourself that maybe you won't even be able to accomplish in this lifetime, but the next or the few others, or leave somebody behind to be able to finish it off.
Do you know what I
That's
posted
an
on?
infinite game.
Do you know what I posted on Threads today?
What?
I said every connection I make, I'm gonna make them smile today.
Oh, I
Something
love
along
it.
those lines. Fuck yes.
Yeah,
All day, bro.
there it is.
Like I am living. I'm gonna live, putting out the right message every single day. It begins within.
Yeah.
It begins
I love it.
within.
Yeah.
All right. Where can fuck? I mean, if
You're after this. If you don't look this guy up and follow him, like I don't know what planet you are, just for the sheer funny. Pancho, what can I say, man? Like,
Thank you, man.
where can our audience find you? He's got big things coming up. This won't be the last time you're gonna see him. Go for it.
literally everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everything is Real Francisco Lopez.
and you're
Everything
fucking
is Real
bro.
Francisco Lopez.
You
Real
really,
Francisco
really
Lopez.
are real. So we're gonna wrap this up with really quick 60-second rapid fire.
Sure.
Okay, let's fucking go.
You're
Anything
from
in
San Diego.
particular?
Oh, I'm gonna. It doesn't
okay,
matter.
okay.
I just whatever.
Okay.
Dogs or cats? I already know this one. I think dogs or cats.
Dogs.
Hardcore.
Hardcore. I have
Fanatical?
5 dogs. I have 5 dogs.
Awesome. And what are your thoughts about cats?
I love them too.
Awesome.
I used to not like them, but now I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is a big controversy on this show.
Yeah.
Favorite fucking tacos in San Diego, and what do you get?
Shit.
Yes, shit is right.
Man, I can honestly say I don't have a favorite taco place in San Diego. It's a hard one. I've been researching and trying to find the best, but I think yeah, no, man, I can't say a
Okay.
single taco place.
Okay,
I can say carne asada fries.
Okay,
Hermanos Taco Shop in Chula Vista on Palomar and Broadway. Best carne asada fries by far anywhere in the world. That's so good.
we're meeting in Chula Vista next time because
Yeah.
that's my weakness.
Yeah.
Carne asada fries.
Carne asada
I
fries.
fucking hate carbs.
Super good.
I'm
But
looking forward
when
to
it
that.
comes to tacos, I think there's a really good place that I found in Encinitas off the 5 on Locadia, it's only birria. So birria tacos.
Birria, yes.
Those are really good birria tacos. That's it. Other than that, it's very difficult for me to say. I'm from Mexico City,
I know,
bro.
I know.
Like,
okay,
Okay, fair enough. Fair
Nothing
enough.
gets it.
favorite tequila.
Tequila, I would say Reserva la Familia, Jose Cuervo, or what do you call it? Don Julio 1942 was my go-to.
Okay,
I'm not really drinking that much anymore.
Good.
Yeah.
happy for you.
Yeah.
But I figured you brought it up, so we.
But I'm
figured
a
out
more
what you-
mezcal guy.
Oh, you are a mezcal.
Yeah. I have a few different. Bosal is one of the ones that I go to on that one and stuff. I like mezcal.
Well, I have a challenge for you before we wrap up. I've heard about this. Mr. Jonathan Fisher is
Yes.
the what's it called? What did you guys have? What podcast?
Oh, we had a podcast called Booze Over Real Estate.
and we're gonna end on that note
Yeah.
because we'll talk about that on the next episode. Because
Yeah, we'll bring it up, and if you want, we can even talk to Jonathan and have us together.
Oh,
on
we're
that. That would be
actually
fun.
yes.
would be
This
fun.
is an open invite to
Yeah.
a reunion
Yeah, a reunion for
of,
Jonathan. That'd be nice.
of co-hosts.
That would be fun. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yep.
Pancho, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, brother.
We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it.